I open the meeting and call the city council meeting to order.
I call the parish council meeting to order.
Okay, I need pledge and a prayer by Ms. Cook and pledge by Ms. Liz Hebert.
Heavenly Father, thank you for calling us together to conduct our business of the city and parish. We ask you to guide us in our minds and our hearts to properly do what is right for all the citizens and the people of this area. Please impact your supreme wisdom upon us so that we may reach a successful conclusion, which will bring us all to prosperity in your name. We ask this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
Which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We welcome you to a special joint meeting of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out the speaker form to submit your information to the clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handed to the council clerk, Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left in the middle. When addressing the council, state your name and title for the official record. The 5-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolutions and not by Robert Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commission. If interested, please call 337-291-8800. That's 291-8800. Due to election day requirements, chair announcements. Due to election day requirements, the council meetings for November and December will be on the second and the fourth Tuesday of each month instead of typical first and third Tuesday. John Gilbo, Parish District 4, is absent due to medical reasons. There will be a Lafayette Public Power Authority special meeting directly following this meeting. I would like to start off by reviewing how budget adoption generally works. To begin, a motion and second are needed to place the initial ordinance as presented on the floor. General amendments will be offered in global. Vote by City Council and Parish Council. Staff will read all general amendments for the viewing public before the vote. Separate amendments will be voted on individually, with each requiring a motion and second. Public comments will be followed on the single vote for general amendments and on each individual separate amendments. Finally, when all of the amendments have been addressed, both general and separate, a vote will be taken to adopt the ordinance as amended. This is a special joint meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council and Lafayette City Council. At times during the meeting, I will defer to the Parish Council Chair to preside over Parish Council matters. I do not have any announcements now. Mr. Nakane, do you have any announcements?
No.
Okay. Any council announcements? I see there's none. Mr. President, do you have any reports you would like to make?
Council meeting. Oh, this is the budget.
Everybody's hard work, man, these last few months. I know this being my first budget, this being my first budget process, it was very comforting knowing that you guys were a phone call away and all the hard work that you put into this. I think the public will be best served by the potential changes that we could see tonight, or agreements. I don't want to call them compromises. I think these are the most cost-effective ways to serve those that we are blessed to serve. I do have a request of the councils, either someone on the council. I referenced a $1 million addition to training this last council meeting. So I would ask respectfully if one member could make a general amendment to increase $1 million for police training to the budget. This would be a general amendment. Just also for the public's, I guess, peace of mind, this money would be funded through reimbursements from the federal government. So we're not, while it would be transferred from Fund 101, which is our city general fund, there is a reimbursement that would come from the federal government. So not only is this cost effective, it's very much needed for situational awareness training, de-escalation, and other training that would help our community. So I ask for that amendment.
Madam Clerk, we have to wait until they take public.
At the
That's just a
appropriate
needed
time.
Yeah, right, and you could make it at that time.
Yes.
and Someone could offer your amendment.
Yes.
Teamwork. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And Mr. Chair, that's all I have this time. Honored to
Okay.
serve with you.
Thank you, sir. Ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and speaker cards are available for anyone wishing to address the councils. The 5-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read item number 5.
Joint Ordinance 73, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council adopting and operating a 5-year capital improvement budget of revenues and expenditures for the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government for the fiscal year beginning November 1st, 2020 and ending October 31st, 2021.
I need a motion and a second from the city council. Motion by Ms. Hebert, second by Ms. Cook.
Need a motion from the parish council? Motion by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman Carlson.
At this time, I will open the floor first to the administration and finance to state any adjustments.
I think is that the time for?
Yes, sir. That's the time, if anybody wants to
I'll-
accept his general amendment for the $1 million for
offer
the
it.
police training.
I'll offer it on the parish side.
Okay,
Or
motion.
does he need a parish side? It doesn't matter.
No,
Okay, I'll offer it as a general amendment.
And I'll pass it out for you.
Okay. And if there's no objection,
Any objections?
oh, yeah, it probably should be a city person that should
go ahead.
offer it.
I'll make a motion.
I was just trying to keep the
Can
meeting
Ms. Hebert make a motion? Mr.
That's fine. I'll make the motion to accept that.
Okay, all right, Mr. Knapp can make the.
Of the
Okay,
budget.
sorry. Mr. Andy Knapp can make the second motion.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
General amendment.
General amendment, right, general amendment. Okay.
And who offered it? I'm sorry, was it?
Mr. Andy Knapp.
Okay, Andy, okay, thank you.
Do you have any adjustments on new amendments, the finance administration?
Any other, Laurie, any other amendments,
No.
changes, adjustments?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Andy, you want to clear this?
I did have a quick statement someone asked me to read,
Okay, go ahead.
if that's okay. I'll take a little quick privilege here. Mr. Andrew Hebert sent me a statement to read before this meeting actually started, so, before we voted. But anyway, this is what he'd like to say. The root of our problem, taxation without equal representation on both sides. How can a parish council vote to spend City of Lafayette tax dollars when each parish district does not have equal Lafayette City voter representation? Here's the percentage of city voters in each parish district. District 1 has 29% city voters. District 2, 34%. District 3, 20%. District 4, 91%. And District 5, 93%. This parish council is required under the fixed charter to approve the combined budgets of the City of Lafayette and parish. How is this not Lafayette City taxation without equal Lafayette City representation on the parish council? How can a parish council direct in any manner the expenditure of a single dime of City of Lafayette tax dollars when the parish council is not the legal taxing jurisdiction or without having equal Lafayette City voter representation on that parish council? It is obvious that parish districts were gerrymandered specifically to give non-city of Lafayette voters a majority on the parish council in order to keep control of the city of Lafayette taxes under this fix the charter. Do you realize that 3 out of the 5 parish council districts each represent voters in at least 2 of the 5 cities that are not under LCG's jurisdiction? I repeat, the 5 cities that are not under LCG's jurisdiction. The same 3 parish districts are combined with the majority of unincorporated voters who are under LCG's jurisdiction. Here are the non-consolidated cities' parish council representatives: District 1, Scott and Cancro; District 2, Scott and Dusson; District 3, Broussard and Youngsville; District 4 is Broussard; District 5 is Scott. The city of Scott is represented by 3 parish council members. Why would City of Lafayette property owners want the Lafayette City Council to increase their taxes when the expenditure of those city taxes is required by the Fix the Charter to be approved by the gerrymandered parish council? As a parish taxpayer, why do the voters in the City of Lafayette get dual representation on the Consolidated Government Council? Why does only the City of Lafayette Council vote on how to spend parish taxes? Why don't the city councils of Broussard, Carencro, Dusson, Scott, and Youngsville get a vote on how to spend parish taxes? Isn't that parish taxation without equal parish representation? How can a Lafayette City Council direct in any manner the expenditure of a single dime of parish of Lafayette taxes when the City Council is not the parish legal taxing jurisdiction, or without having equal parish voter representation on that Lafayette City Council? Does the City of Lafayette Council have taxing jurisdiction outside its corporate limits? No. Can the City of Lafayette Council create, impose, or enforce a parish tax? No. Can the parish council create, impose, or enforce a City of Lafayette tax? No. Can this be an honest legal form of government in the United States? Where are the council members, and what and why are they afraid of seeking the answers to our root problem, taxation without equal representation? Who will seek the answer? The American Civil Liberties Union, the U.S. Justice Department, the Attorney Generals of the state of Louisiana and the United States, the U.S. Voting Rights Division. The true community leaders who are willing to seek a resolution to the root of the problem, taxation without equal representation. For these reasons, I object to having the parish council approve the expenditure of my city taxes, as the parish council is not the legal taxing district of the City of Lafayette. Please defeat this ordinance and pass a city ordinance approving the spending of our city taxes. For this reason, I object to having the City Council approve the expenditure of my parish taxes, as the City Council is not the legal taxing district of the parish of Lafayette. Please defeat this ordinance and pass the parish ordinance approving the spending of our parish taxes. Thank you. Andrew M. Hebert, registered voter and taxpayer of the City of Lafayette and parish of Lafayette. Thank you for the privilege, Mr. Council Chairman.
Thank you. Council members, do you have any adjustments to existing general amendments in the first column? See none. Do you have any adjustment to existing separate amendments in the second column?
In the green folder on there.
Okay, let's move along. Yes, ma'am, anything? All right.
Oh, look in the green folder, there's an update.
Any questions? Move along. At this time, we will address the pending items in the third column. Hold on, I'm sorry. Ms. Cook, you have something?
There's 5 separate amendment. There was an objection. My friend here?
Which one you talking about? The first column, second column?
5, the separate second column. And so I was,
We're not on separate amendments yet, correct?
No, we just, the
I thought we
existing second amendments on the second column.
the second column.
Okay.
Yeah, second column.
Are we're on the second column, right?
Yes, you're correct. You could go
Yes.
ahead.
Go
So
ahead,
I'm on-
talk about it.
Well, I'm actually, I'm hoping that I can get the objection removed, so I'm just,
Oh, which one is that? Second column? Okay,
Increase line item Acadiana Center for the Arts by $100,000 from the city general fund for a total of $257,680. Andy Nakant objected, and she's asking for Andy Nakant to remove his objection.
Are you removing the objection, Ann?
And,
So Andy removing his objection.
okay. If there are no other objections, we moving it to the general amendment column. Oh, okay, well, finance.
Looking at the sheets that you put in our green folder, because I don't see anything under separate amendment number 5.
Okay, no, we have an updated list. Do you have an agenda, agenda in front of you? It's behind the agenda, the newest updated list. My apologies, everybody. Yeah, the newest updated list, look at your agenda, and it's behind your agenda.
It's the one with the yellow.
Okay, I have an agenda.
It's not there?
No, ma'am. Oh, wait. 9/17/20? Yeah. Thank you, V.
You're welcome.
You good with that 5E?
So that objection to number 5 was removed, and there's no other objection, so we will move that to the general amendment list. That'll be general amendment number 30. 29 is the 1 million police training, and now we have number 30, moving separate amendment number 5 under number 30. Any other questions on the second column for separate amendments?
Okay, press your hit button. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to direct this to Mr. Carlson. Would respectfully request that you consider removing your objection to my separate amendment 8A. I actually had some conversations with the administration about this, and he's on board with it. 8A. I'm sorry, 8,
Just number 8,
Separate
separate
amendment
amendment 8, yes.
separate amendment 8, right,
So he did remove his objection?
right.
Okay. So separate amendment number 8, there are no other objections. That item will move to become now general amendment number 31.
Are we on that page yet? Where we at? What page? Second column?
Yeah,
On the second page?
yeah, this is the last amendment. I don't think we have any separate amendments on the third or fourth page. You do? Yeah, but I mean, on the next page, you don't have, well, I see what you're saying, yeah. Okay. Okay. At this time, any more questions? At this time, we will address the pending, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Nakane? Okay, yes, Mr. Nakane, go ahead.
V, on 10, separate amendment and finance, you had asked me to object right here. Do I need to remove this objection? Ms. Toops, what's this for? I think at the time we did the meeting, our budget, you needed somebody to object so it can come back as a separate amendment. Did we fix this? Do I need to remove it?
We needed this as a separate amendment because there is another, or there was another amendment to add everything back to recreation. And so we needed this as a separate, but I think we still need it as a separate amendment to clean everything up.
10.
That's the one to get the employees to who's employed. Yes, we need number 10.
How you want us to vote on that then?
That is to the employees, the personnel we have now in recreation, that's to keep that intact, because when they went through the layoff
Okay.
process and the
So
push
We need
process,
to support that, is what you're saying?
yes,
Okay.
that'll keep the people on the payroll who's on payroll today.
Okay, no problem. That's all I
But
have,
it
sir.
can be moved to a general amendment if they wanted to do so. Or should it stay? If Kevin removes his objection, can it be moved to a general amendment?
Mr. Lazard's amendment to reinstate everything in recreation has been changed,
Right.
then yes, it could be moved as a general amendment. Yes, ma'am.
So Kevin, you were asking if you could remove your your objection?
Yeah, what did she say about Mr. Lazar's what?
He has that recreation
Uh-huh,
amendment to put some funds back into it.
okay, so then that
So she
takes it.
said since he has that one,
Okay.
you could move this one back to your objection.
I remove my objection.
Okay.
Okay, if there are no other objections, this item, separate amendment number 10, Kevin removed his objection, will now become general amendment number 32.
Let me see something.
So at this time, we only have separate amendment 1, 2, 3,
Action.
and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, on,
9.
the other one, Ms., I'll move my objection for number 3.
Okay, so he is referring to separate amendment number 3, take $330,628 from city general fund balance and increase Cajun Dome external appropriation to $500,000. Lewis objected. Lewis is removing his objection, and if there are no other objections, we will place this under general amendment. This item will become general amendment number 32. Y'all keep getting rid of those separate amendments.
It's up to Andy Knockham now.
To do what?
33.
Good job, Joe.
Thank you. That would be separate amendment number 33, with reference to the Cajun Dome.
Good job, Joe. All right. Cool.
All right, okay. At this time, we will address the pending items in the third column to determine whether these will be moved to a separate amendment or a general amendment. After we dispense with this column, I will open the floor to council members for any other amendments. Now for the pending item number 1. Clerk, please read number 1.
Proposed new amendment, Lazard, take $150,000 from city general fund and appropriate to new line item for city District 5 traffic calming. And he would ask for a general amendment. And Mr. Lazard, if you want to explain, or you don't have to, it's pretty clear. He's asking for a general amendment. Any objection? Hearing no objection, pending item number 1 will now become general amendment number 34. Next pending item, Lazar, amend the Parks and Recreation budget by increasing it by $1.75 million, $750,000 in personnel costs, and $1 million in capital from the city general fund. He's asking that this become a general amendment. Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, this will become general amendment number 35. Next item, next pending item, number 3. Cook, appropriate $8,706 for the addition of 7 street light poles at Cedar Creek condos off of Pilat Road. She would like to request a general amendment. Is there any objection? Hearing no objection, pending item number 3 will now become General Amendment number 36. Next pending item, Lazar, include back in the budget the position of the nurse, registered nurse, and the nurse's operations. He would like to request a general amendment and look like he wants to speak.
Press your button.
Thank you. This is one that I've been, I guess, struggling with since the initial inception of the budget, and to make sure that I don't go too far off course and take up too much time, I jotted down some notes as to why I think that this position is important. So I'm going to follow my notes on this to make sure I don't go too far off track. The city of Lafayette has always had a city nurse who provides nursing services for all of LCG's employees and includes treating work injuries, pre-employment and promotional physical exams, return to work and fit for duty physical exams, immunizations, and a yearly health fair. Serves the fire department, juvenile detention, and 911 operations by giving the employees their required yearly screenings for their occupation. Ensures police officers are fit to return to work after an injury. Gives linemen their vaccinations to protect them before a major storm, and gives animal control officers their rabies shots after an animal bite. These employees will now have to go to a walk-in clinic. Offers telehealth and can administer medications such as a cortisone shot to employees while they're at work, saving them time and money from a trip to the doctor. The proposed teledoc services will be using an iPad only, with no nurse there to look into someone's ear, listen to their lungs, administer an injection, etc. And the nurse is available to triage employees and help them decide if they need to see a doctor or simply be treated with an over-the-counter methods, saving money for both the employee and the group insurance plan. Some employees do not understand the health system and where they can go for care, so they simply do not get the care they need. These employees trust a dedicated city nurse to help guide them in the right direction. You lose that personal quality of care when you outsource and contract these services. In short, this position has proven to be very important to LCG throughout the years. And it's basically paid for itself 20 times over. So I really don't see the point in cutting such an essential service that's basically not costing LCG any money, but is in fact saving money. Thank you.
Mr. Lazar is requesting a general amendment. Is there any objection? So this item with reference to the registered nurse will be included as separate amendment, and it'll be number 3. Separate amendment number 3.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Lazard, we did do a thorough analysis of the cost of the position and the cost of the benefits provided, and it is definitely cheaper to go without the position. The new telemed services that we are going to have for our employees are going to save our employees money. Right now, they're having to pay $35 for a visit. They're going to be able to pay $10 for a visit. They will have the ear attachment, the heart attachment, the oxygen attachment. They will have all those things that are used today. We will also be able to expand, and instead of just having one telemedicine clinic, we're going to put one at the Fire Training Center, one at the Police Department, one here at City Hall, And if LUS wants one, they can have one at LUS, all for a nominal fee. Employees also, if they have a sick child at home, will be able to take a portable kit home with them, use those same tools to look in the eye and look in the throat, look in the ear and look in the throat, and those things for a child, and see the telemedicine doctor. We compared the cost of the nurse giving vaccines to employees versus the cost of sending those employees elsewhere. And at the end of the day, it is definitely a cost savings to LCG. And it was for those reasons why that was one of the positions where we chose to restructure. We're restructuring the whole division in both group insurance and risk management. And, we've always had a registered nurse. I was an advocate for getting the telemedicine clinic here. I was the one who bought that here to Lafayette. And now we see avenues to improve those services and offer more to our employees at a cost savings. So I definitely did pay very careful attention to this, and I did a very thorough analysis with the nurses' help, putting dollar to paper, pen to paper, to add the cost of that. So unfortunately, when at the end of the day, that's the way the results came out.
Mr. Nake?
What is that pen to paper? What is that cost savings?
Cost savings, it was around 20,000. It's going to depend upon how many new employees you have.
Right.
Versus, if you're going a year without new firemen, without new employees, so
And how much
it will
is this
vary.
position? How much does this position cost that you want to put back?
70,000.
Okay.
How much?
70?
70.
Okay. I just wanted to figure out the cost savings and stuff like that. Okay. All right.
Plus benefits and that sort of thing.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Mr. Carson?
While I certainly appreciate the fact that we've always had a nurse and someone physically on staff, I think that's not the best reason to keep something by simply saying, well, that's how it's always been, so therefore it should be back. I think we've seen technology radically transform almost every industry, and I think this is just another area where it makes us more efficient and comes in line with how medicine is being delivered as a whole and will probably continue to be delivered more and more in this manner in the future, and that's why I offered the objection.
So that one will be separate amendment number 3. Carlson objected.
So where is it going to, a general amendment?
Separate
Separate
amendment
amendment,
number
I'm sorry,
3.
separate amendment.
Number 3.
Just want to make sure everybody's going separate amendment number 3. Okay, number 5.
Correct. Pending item number 5, Lazar, restore funding to the temporary employees line item under the nature station in the amount of $21,772. He would like to move it to a general amendment. If there's no objections, hearing no objection, this will be noted as a general amendment number 37. So pending item number 5 is now general amendment number 37.
Any council members have new items for adjustment, new items or adjustments? Do any members, council member, have new items or adjustments? See none, okay. I will go on now to general amendments. General amendments. That's okay, okay. Okay, we go on to general amendments. Cindy, please read all of the general amendments.
General amendment,
General amendments in global. So please read them all, please.
General Amendment Number 1, Andy Knockett, add promotion for Electrical Engineer 2, Electrical Engineer 3, in Section 7033, as per the amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 2, Cook, add promotion for Electrical Engineer A2, Electrical Engineer A3, in Section 7082, as per the amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 3, Cook, addition of 600 amp loop airport in the amount of $200,000 and feeder EXT 2556 West Broussard Road in the amount of $280,000 capital projects, both under electric distribution under item 45 on page 296. General Amendment Number 4, Andy Knockett, addition of South College Lift Station replacement in the amount of $400,000 under wastewater collection on page 299. General Amendment Number 5, Gilbo, move $40,000 from line item 10561208900-0, capital outlay, to 1056120709007-0, contractual services. General Amendment Number 6, Andy Knockett, amendment to correct utility costs for the Lafayette Science Museum as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 8, Cook, amendment to delete a Planner 1 position and associated promotion and add a Planner 2 position in the Department of Development and Planning as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 9, Andy Knockett, amendment to adjust manning tables and titles within the City Prosecutor's Division as per the amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 10, Carlson, amendment to rebudget parish street lighting expenses as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 11, Andy Knockett, amendment to increase Human Resources Contractual Services account per amendment prepared by Finance. General Amendment Number 12, Gilbo, amendment to budget coroner's revenue for out-of-parish death and autopsy fees as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 13, Tabor, amendment to budget coroner's additional telecommunications expenses as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 14, Andy Knockett, amendment to eliminate one vacant city parish transportation engineer as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 15, Andy Knockett, amendment to rebudget Public Works Director's O&M accounts in Public Works Director's section as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 16, Lewis, reduce line item 9, concrete street repairs for fiscal year 2020-2021 on page 287 by $300,000 and create a new line item to asphalt overlay Rose Lane and appropriate $300,000 to it. General Amendment Number 17, Cook, reduce the line item 55 urban asphalt overlay reconstruction to page 288 by $500,000 and appropriate $500,000 to a line item named Courtyard Circle Alley Construction. General Amendment Number 18, Andy Knockett, delete line item 550PW003, Fleet Focus MS Standard License, 500 units on page 309I in the amount of $33,000. General Amendment Number 19, Andy Knockett, amendment to eliminate one vacant Associate Director of Public Works Operations and Maintenance as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 20, Andy Knockett, amendment to reinstate Secretary 1 position and delete Accounting Clerk position as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 21, Tabor, amendment to move accrued sick annual leave from CD Court Services Probation and CDHS Counseling Services as per amendment provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 22, Cook, increase to contractual services line items in the Community Development Departments under Hyman Performing Arts Center in the amount of $30,000 coming from the City General Fund to provide for a fundraising marketing position. General Amendment Number 23, Kevin Knockett, amendments number 1 through number 11, and new item number 13 on list of additional amendments for consideration as provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 24, Cook, take $230,000 from the City General Fund to cover one full-time maintenance foreman position and put the remaining funds in the temporary employees line item for Hyman Performing Arts Center. General Amendment Number 25, Cook, move $300,000 of Create funds to Lafayette Science Museum, Fund 202, for 2 museum curators and contractual services. General Amendment Number 26, Kevin Knockham, move $200,000 from Fund 276 to a new fund, Parish Parks and Recreation, to be used for parks and recreation activities, O&M, utilities, and contractual services in unincorporated Lafayette Parish. General Amendment Number 29, change to increase police department training by $1 million. General Amendment Number 27, Kevin Knockham, changing line item 1056120709007-0, contractual services, from $40,000 to $0. General Amendment Number 28, Cook, name fund for city parks and recreation activities to city parks and recreation. General Amendment Number 29, change to increase police department training by $1 million. General Amendment Number 30, Cook, increase line item 1018100-76040-0, extension at Acadiana Center for the Arts by $100,000 from the City General Fund for a total of $257,680. General Amendment Number 31, Lazard, to rescind any raises that are proposed in the 2020-2021 budget for the Mayor President's office. General Amendment Number 32, Abear, Amendment Number 12, change to accommodate shifts in parks and recreation positions on list of additional amendments for consideration as provided by Finance. General Amendment Number 33, Abear, take $330,628 from City General Fund balance and increase Cajun Dome external appropriation to $500,000. General Amendment Number 34, Lazard, take $150,000 from City General Fund and appropriate to new capital line item, City District 5, traffic calming. General Amendment Number 35, Lazard, amend the Parks and Recreation budget by increasing it to $1.75 million, $750,000 in personnel costs, and $1 million in capital from the City General Fund. General Amendment Number 36, Cook, appropriate $8,706 for the addition of 7 streetlight poles at Cedar Creek condos off of Paulette Road. General Amendment Number 37, Lazard, restore funding to the temporary employees line item under the Nature Station in the amount of $21,772.
Okay. I need a motion and a second from the City Council to accept the general amendments in global.
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Hebert, second by Mr. Nakane.
All right, this time I need a motion and a second from the Parish Council to consider. So, motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor.
Is there any discussions? Any discussions by council members? Public comments, Ms. Veronica?
Yes, sir, we do have public comment. First, citizens who did not wish to speak who called the council office. We had 2 in support of the Science Museum, 2 in support of the ACA, 2 in support of the Cajun Dome, 1 in support of the Hyman Center, and we do have 5 speakers, the first of which is Tara Fogelman-Laxey, and she wants to speak about parks and recreation and the police training. And she will be followed by Devon Norman, who also wants to speak about parks and recreation and the police training line item.
Good evening, Tara Fogelman-Laxey. First things first, what's most important on my mind right now, thank you for that $1 million. I pray that y'all support that. I do have a suggestion, though. My suggestion would be, with that money, I request, along from my community, a detailed list of exactly what type of training your officers are going to have, because they're really stuck on this verbal judo. And clearly, our 2 incidents that we've had in 1 month really show that verbal judo does not de-escalate. I also suggest, in trying to get our city back with trust when it comes to the police department, and I think me and Devon are pretty much willing to help do it for free, a committee of community leaders to actually sit down, be able to address the interim chief or the chief of police and yourself in regards to the needs of our community, in regards to the safety of our brothers and sisters and lower income families whenever it comes to the city police department. We are, regardless if you like us or not, the front line when it comes to protest. We are also the front line whenever it comes to keeping a lot of our young adults calm. We meet with them, we talk with them, we sit, we cook, we eat with them, and we educate them. So that would be my suggestion with that 1 million. Devise a committee, Josh, please. The people who are actually on the street, walking, sweating, getting dirty, trying to understand the concerns of the community. And please, let's work together on that, because working together and creating strength between us could only save a life. 1 life is too many that this city has had to deal with in the last month. Secondly, parks and recreation. Mr. Lazard, thank you for bringing this up, the money with this amendment. Our children need their recreational centers more than just a year. We need a guarantee. We don't want to be back here next year fussing and fighting to keep our recreational centers open. Please, I think we've all learned a lesson from these last couple of months. We need to be more productive in our community. We need to make sure our recreational centers are more productive. Please respect us enough in the journey that we've all been on to allow us to have that money so we can bring in programs at these centers to be able to help our community, our predominantly Black families, our low-income families. I pray that we learn a lot, all of us, from everything for these last couple of months. Please allow us the opportunity with this money to better the North Side, so we can be North Side strong, so we can bring more mentor programs, fatherhood initiative programs, parenting programs, teen mother programs. We just want to survive. We want to be able to do better by our community. Y'all have left, you lit a fire under our feet. You brought me out in my voice after about 26 years of hiding. So give us, please, the opportunity, and we'd like to be able to have our employees hired back. It's not just an employee, it's a family. A lot of people were hurting because of these decisions. Please walk by faith, not by seat. Y'all represent all of us, even though we didn't vote for y'all because of district. You represent all of us, the community as a whole. Please work with us and give us that big money. Y'all have a good night.
Devon Norman, he too wants to speak on Parks and Recreation and Police Training. He will be followed by Jacques Miller, who wants to speak about Parks and Recreation and Community Development.
Good evening to everyone. Thank you all for receiving me on today. I would also like to start off by saying thank you, Mr. Mayor President, for that amendment. Also, thank you for coming to the funeral and speaking at the funeral for Trayford Pellerin, which I would like to clear up for the public that it was the family who did ask the Mayor President to come, and he did honor that, and he did speak, and we thank you for that. However, my concern, and I am for the money being added to the police department, my concern for training is that that type of training is not necessary for the south side of town. That type of training is not necessary for white men and women who live in this city. So if we're going to add this money, and if we're going to have this money poured back into our police departments, I would like to also say that it's very imperative that we make sure that we're not just giving more money to these departments, but we're making sure that it's not just de-escalation training that needs to happen, but understanding the communities that they serve. We need to make sure that we are putting people in the communities, working in these communities that are from these communities. We need to make sure that the people who police these communities look like the community, and not just look like them on an outer appearance, but getting to know them. You ever heard somebody ever told you when you spend so much time around somebody, you begin to look like them? Instead, what our policing looks like is they spend so much time standing on the outside, keeping everybody in check. And that's not what policing should be. Not in the happiest city in the world. At least that's what Lafayette calls itself. And so I think that we can get to that day as long as we do this the right way. So let's not just pour more money there. Let's make sure that our police officers are trained, and let's make sure that when police officers commit a crime, they get the consequences that a citizen would. Let's stop protecting police officers higher than we would protect any other human life in this country. It's not about whether or not they have a badge. It's about the fact that every human life deserves the same dignity as the other. When it comes to parks and recreation, after what we have seen in the last few months, especially after the gruesome murder of Trayford Pellerin going viral and being seen by so many children across this country, trust me when I tell you Lafayette has a bigger problem now on its hands that it must deal with. And that is the trauma of black and brown children in America. Not just black and brown children anymore. Even white kids who can watch a white kid get murdered in the streets and when he's having a mental health crisis, or get injured by the police. Or police officers beating up on young kids in our streets at a bowling alley. So now more than ever, these recreational centers are going to be needed. We're going to have to make sure that we're investing in programs that will help these kids get through this trauma, the psychological trauma that they are born in because they're black, and they have to get the talk from their parents. Make sure that if you ever get stopped by the police, don't you have that same attitude that you might have with me, even though just because you're a child. Can barely even talk to a police officer the way that the child would respond to his mother if he's not happy with her response. And these are normal things that kids do. Sometimes they get disciplined by their parents, but one thing that they should never have to deserve, or that they should never receive, is for someone who is meant to protect and serve them, someone who is paid to protect and serve them, beating up on them. And the psychological trauma that follows after. And for those kids who never even physically were attacked, but who had to see it and had to witness it. I heard a story from a girl who was part of our organization, and she said, I was on my way to bring my twin brothers to school. They're 7 years old. And a police officer stopped us. He said, the nursery rhyme music that I had on was too loud. And the kids began to scream. And the police officer could not understand for the life of him why those kids were screaming. And it was because they saw blue lights and a badge. And they know what happens to black kids in America with police officers. Not because their parents tell them that, but because of what they can watch on the TV, because of not even what they can see on TV, but because of what they can hear and go down in their own neighborhoods. So I would hope that you all would take all of what I've said into consideration on today. because Lafayette has a bigger problem on its hands than I think most people realize. And it's not about the protesting, it's not about civil unrest, it's about the psychological damage that we have allowed to happen in our city. God bless you.
Next speaker, Jacques Miller, and he wants to speak on Parks and Recreation and Community Development. He will be followed by Jackie Lau, who wants to speak on police training.
Okay, good evening, everyone. We've learned the past few weeks the importance of parks and recs and our museums and whatnot, especially with all that's went on. I know the city and the parish is going through some very trying budgetary times. I know this because members of my own family are going through quite some very bad budgetary issues themselves, including a business running in the negative. So yeah, we've learned we've learned that parks and recs and the items of community development are very essential, and the previous speakers brought something up and they did it well, but I want to bring up an area of parks and recs that may not always be noticed, and that is on the mental health side. As a matter of fact, just today I was speaking to my case manager and she was like, have you been going to the park? And luckily from where I live, I can see Thomas Park right from my apartment. And that is something that is almost always brought up in conversations. Yes. And Mr. Mayor, I do agree with the others. Thank you for the amendment on the, let's see, what is it? Forgive me, the police training, is it? Okay, and again, mental health as me, someone with severe bipolar disorder, just take time to understand what people goes through, and let's see, and with that, that'll be my comment for tonight. Thank you.
Jackie Lau, she will speak on police training, and she will be followed by the final speaker, Jonathan Prejean, who also wants to speak on police training.
I actually have a couple more comments than that. First of all, I'm here to support you passing this budget tonight, but with reservations. When I hear the words cost-effective budgeting, what concerns me is the lack of understanding of the difference between operating a government or operating a for-profit business. There are two different things. Government serves constituents who are citizens, not customers. That's a different thing. That's where you look for a certain profit margin. There is a great deal of difference between cost-effective budgeting and not budgeting enough money. Thankfully, our cultural assets have had some restoration of their budgets at a basic sustenance level. It's not enough. These assets deserve more support. Budgets for assets such as these get cut when there is a vacuum of cultural literacy. I urge you all to learn more about the intrinsic value, but more importantly, the cost effectiveness of this type of investment that is found in the economic activity it generates. In other words, more sales tax dollars. There are many of us who can help you understand the cultural economy, but you're going to have to ask us, and we are all willing to bring our knowledge and expertise to the table. I am so grateful, Nanette, for your work, and Liz for your work, and Kevin, you too. So thank you very much. Regarding the $1 million for police training, I too urge that detailed information about the RFP that is issued to select the company that does this training and the ultimate program that will be implemented be made public in a very public sort of way, and that be given serious consideration. And I will just point out one thing that I experienced, and I was really, had I thought about it more, I would have raised a big objection at the time. I went to the protest in front of the Shaw Federal Building, and many of the protesters, including me, had parked in the public library parking lot. The library was closed. Just as on Mardi Gras Day, when the parking lot is packed with cars, we were told that we had to move our cars to a metered space or be towed. So if you have any doubt about how far-reaching the racism goes that is demonstrated by the Lafayette Police Department, and I will say the police department in my lovely neighborhood of Holden Heights has been great for us and has been particularly good to me in a time of need. So I'm not casting a shadow over everyone, but I'm saying I was one of the few Caucasians at this protest. And I moved my car to the assessor's parking lot because I knew that I could park there. Nothing's going to happen on a Saturday, maybe on another day of the week. But at any rate, so please be cognizant, these things don't happen just to people of color. I mean, I have a tan, that's it. So with that, I encourage you all to mature more in your roles here, to prevent us from being on Esquire magazine's website, to being in the New York Times for the kinds of things that we've been in for making the Washington Post for all the reasons that we don't want to make it for. But we will continue to make it because now we have the attention of the national media, and it's going to continue unless you all step up to the plate and support the activities and the people who need your support. We are all taxpayers. We all work on budgets, and if I hear one more person say, you know, at my household, we have to operate on a budget, I think I'll just scream. So if you hear me scream one night, that'll be it. At any rate, thank you very much. And again, I am always available for any kind of resource that I can possibly bring to the table. Thank you.
Next speaker, Jonathan Prejean, police training, and Kate Durio has signed in for the budget as a whole, but she said she preferred to speak now. So she will follow him on the budget.
My name is Jonathan Prejean. I am a vet. I'm a disabled vet. I am also a victim of police brutality. You men, listen to me well. I'm a passenger in a car, and the car gets stopped for tint. They make me get out. I get my scrotum squeezed, both of them, by a police officer that did not have a body cam. 5 police officers, okay? One of them didn't have a body cam, is the one that committed the crime. I would have thought that the rest of them would have searched me or fixed me or whatever they had to do. Okay, squeezed my scrotum. I had to have surgery. I suffered for 3 years, 36 months. I served my country. I filed a lawsuit against the city. I spoke to Josh maybe 2 years ago on internet, and I did vote for you. Look, for you women, y'all should know this, for feeling helpless when you're being sexually assaulted. I know how y'all feel, okay? I developed 2 hydrocele. I need another surgery. I couldn't go through it because of this pandemic, okay? I didn't serve my country to be treated like a dog. City offered me $1,500, Josh. That's far from the budget, man. That's far from what I expect. I'm a vet. I get $3,500 just to sit at home, take care of my kids. I love my city. I love my country. I just need them to love me back. I need my city to love me back. And I don't need nobody to feel sorry or anything for me. I am service-connected. I suffer from major depression and anxiety. Okay, this caused me a lot of problems. A lot of problems. I had to speak a lot. I gave my psychologist an earful, I promise you. But I didn't know how to reach you, man. I actually tried to talk to you. I called your office. They said, no, blah, 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 blah. I was never getting. But I need some closure to this, man. I need some closure. And that police officer shouldn't be working for the city anymore. Because they probably laughed at me and made a big joke out. You see how he hollered when I squeezed the right scrotum? You see how he hollered even more when I squeezed the left one even harder? Man, I'm a victim, man. Look, I didn't have to go through this. I got kids and grandkids. It's not supposed to happen to me. I serve my country. You know me, A.B. You know me, Pat. Y'all know me. I'm not that type of man. I'm a victim. And I need closure, man. I spoke to the lady. She said, write a demand letter. I wrote a demand letter. She laughed at me. She said, it's far from what I was authorized to give you. I'm watching what y'all moving money around here. Man. I went to protesters. I went to all these things. You know, look, I went to a River Ranch protest. It was 85% white people over there. They don't want this, man. My community don't want police officers hurting black or white people. I know good white police officers. Jimmy Reed Short, he's an awesome man. Ed Washington, he's an awesome man. These are both two different police officers, one white, one black. And I'll invite any one of them to my house, sleep, eat, whatever they want. And if you get stopped on the road, Ms. Cook, I will be the one to stop and help you. That's who I am. I need some closure, sir. I did write a demand letter. I just need some closure to this, okay? I serve my country proudly, and I'm service-connected. 100% service-connected, you hear me? Disabled. I just need some closure. And I wish the city of Lafayette answer this. Answer to me. And let me know why I'm a victim. Please. Thank y'all.
Final speaker, Kate Durio.
Good evening. I just want to echo a little bit of what Jackie Lyle said and the other speakers and say that I generally support the budget adoption and really appreciate the leadership of those in the councils that fought for restoration of some of the culture and recreation funding. I have a question I would like to request to have answered, and my question is, who has override veto authority as relates to the Hyman Center compromise funding? Since it all came from city funds, I would think that that would be the city council, but I wanted to see if we could get the city attorney to weigh in on that. I'd also like to request that as this budget is adopted, that we begin the clock tomorrow to begin a transparent and productive conversation about long-term sustainability and intentional, equitable, and inclusive investment for next year's budget related to culture and recreation. I'd request a meeting date is set to discuss self-sustaining funding mechanisms and public-private partnerships for future culture and recreation funding. If that's the administration's plan for action, I'd like to give him the benefit of believing that he will deliver and direct his team to provide a space for that conversation. And that we begin that now and not wait until next budget hearing process. The hundreds of calls, speeches, emails, social media posts, and other public engagement related to these issues is a symptom that culture and recreation deserves, but does not have a dedicated and intentional forum to study, learn, and provide informed guidance for culture and recreation funding in order to leverage existing public investment. And if there's any hope of attracting other dollars to these crucial assets and causes to our social, physical, mental, and economic health in Lafayette Parish, then we will never be able to attract those. We have the money to support all our arts and culture and recreational programming. And while I hate the position that the administration put you all in as council members, I believe in what you're passing tonight is a true expression of your priorities. And I know that that was done, those were compromises made, and those were done in the face of adversity. As Jackie offered, I'd also sign up again to help for free and help even organize this meeting and discussion if necessary. I just helped 3 cities this week access millions of dollars in CARES money to fund music and culture efforts in their towns, and a new toolkit that I wrote the last 3 weeks coming out Monday to help many more. But in my own town, in a place that would kill for the culture and assets and history and sense of identity that we have, we're struggling to keep the bare minimum and keep the lights on. I'd love to help Lafayette more than anywhere else, and I hope you take me up on that offer. Thank you.
No other speakers.
Let's move along. Okay, I need a vote on the general amendments in global from the city council. Vote from the city council in global. All amendments.
City District 1,
Yes.
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5.
Yes.
The motion to adopt in global from the City Council is approved. Parish District 1,
Yes.
Parish District 2,
Yes.
Parish District 3, Parish District 4, Parish District 5. The motion to adopt in global from the Parish Council is approved.
Separate amendment, one at a time.
Separate amendment number 3.
One.
Number 1, A-Bear remove 311 from LUS Fiber.
Okay, I need a motion and a second from city council to accept the amendment.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Hebert. Second by Ms. Cook.
And this is a city-only vote.
Right.
And if you need explanation, legal could explain.
Ms. Hebert?
I'm just simply going to ask my fellow city council members for support on this issue.
Ms. Hanake?
In looking at this ordinance, or this amendment, 311 is definitely more qualified to be taken care of through fiber than the CAO's office. I'd like to ask Ms. Sidra Wingardner to chime in on this, please.
Would you like me to come to the podium?
If you like.
Sure.
It's my understanding that your office is not necessarily qualified to take care of this, but they have the personnel at Fiber and the means and the efficiency to take care of this 311 call. Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct. And like, just a little brief history about 311 and how it became to be. It was actually studied through LUS and LUS Fiber. It sort of was born out of these ideas that we could better service our constituent needs, through service requests. And as a project of Mayor President Joel Robideau at the time, it was born out of the administration rather than being born out of LUS or LUS Fiber. So in our minds, we always knew, we thought we knew, that 311 would go and live within one of the respective call centers of either LUS or LUS Fiber, since those call centers are already there. So moving forward, we know that there will be a lot more support in terms of training, professional development opportunities, cross-training, even the ability to, advance and transfer within the LUS Fiber department. Regardless of whether this particular amendment goes through or not, we are already making the physical move of our 311 call center over to LUS. That's a no-brainer for us. They'll be able to tap into the equipment, the technology, the training, the coaching, professional development, be with peers of their own who are doing things similarly. So it made sense to us that they can be with people who are doing like-minded things, and as 311 grows, and as we're able to add in additional support services, requests, it made sense. And as you alluded to, they're going to get a lot more support management-wise under the umbrella of LUS Fiber, rather than the umbrella of the CAO. I want to, act like I could do it all, but I can't, and I recognize that. But regardless, we know that 311 is going to, thrive and live wherever. And Kayla, the interim director of LUS Fiber, can also come up here and talk about some of the benefits and some of the things that the 311 call center will be able to experience within LUS Fiber, if you like.
And speaking with you, there'd be a lot more efficiency operating through fiber, obviously, because they'll have the resources for distribution of the particular calls and where they need to go, more so than your office, I would assume.
Right, and fiber's employing a new technology, cool thing where it's, it's kind of a.
They'll be on top of it every day.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, would Ms. Kayla like to speak to this?
Before she comes, I have a question.
Certainly.
Call centers. 911, who handles 911?
That is, the 911 center is under the communications district, and it's completely separate from our call center.
I understand that it is separate. Do you think we can incorporate the 311 with 911? Is that a thought? Maybe can you think about that?
Sure,
You know,
we can
because-
absolutely think about it. I think that's a lot more complicated. The 911, the district has its own funding source. There's, it comes from, when you pay your telephone bill, you get billed that way. It's not quite the same. The 311 center is to be able to generate service requests for Lafayette Consolidated Government for things that we can respond to. So I don't know, but it's worth, exploring.
Yeah, I'm just saying that might be something that we can, probably think about.
We can explore it.
Because we're building a new 911 center. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah. We'd all love to work in that new building.
I know.
It was pretty
So
fabulous.
They might love to work there too. I'm just seeing if we can maybe cooperate that in 311, 911, put it all together instead of with the fiber.
It's an interesting thought I hadn't thought of before. I see more challenges than I do the
Well, I
ease
don't
of
want to put
getting
you
it
on the
done.
spot. I really do not want to
Well,
put you on
you
the
did.
spot. Well, I mean, you know, but I see you have your soldier with you. You have your comrades. So that's
My
why I asked you that
comrade.
before you put her on that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
That's just something to think about.
Yeah.
And maybe we can discuss that because we need to make a rational decision because we have been talking about the LUS for quite some time, and I don't know about how the city feels about it. But again, that'd be something maybe we can entertain. Just a thought. Yes, Christy.
Good evening, Kayla Miles, Interim Director of LUS Fiber. Just to piggyback on the 911 question, I don't think it's so out there and crazy because the first calls that 311 started taking were the non-emergency 911 calls. So 911 was getting flooded with calls and it was delaying the police response time to emergencies. So what 311 did was take all those non-emergency calls so that the true emergencies could go to 911 and could go to the police and they could immediately dispatch aid where needed. And all of those lesser urgent issues could be alleviated from them and put into 311, which can go to a service request, have a date, to address it. And there's follow-up, but it's not as urgent.
Yeah, well,
so it actually helped. There was a partnership
Right,
there,
right.
but it's kind of in the opposite way, I guess.
I understand that, but, that's fine. People will not know where they're calling. They just know they're calling 311. They don't know where they're calling. If they're calling 911, all they know they're calling 311.
So that's a really great point, which is what I usually say for the benefits of 311. So citizens shouldn't need to know which number to call about their garbage or drainage or roads, or if there's a pothole, or if they need fiber services.
Okay.
They should be able to call one number, which would hopefully one day be 311, and all of their issues are resolved, except for emergencies. Do not call 311 for an emergency.
Yes,
But
yes.
other than an emergency, we would want citizens to just know they can call 311. Just like one of the citizens said, I didn't know how to reach someone. I didn't know who to call and how to reach, a representative. They shouldn't need to dig and find a number. It should be 311, and they get their answers that they need or connected to who they need to speak to.
Well, I
That's
understand,
the goal,
yeah, I understand.
So
I just
we're
want to put
on the
that-
same page.
Yeah, I just want to put that on your mind. That's all. Just put it on
No,
the
I
mind,
love it.
because we all want to be creative. That's it. Simple as that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so just to build on what Sidra said, so we are working with a new technology solution for quality of customer service. So basically, it'll be a third-party provider that with us are building these great criterias to measure the efficiency and really more the quality of calls. So every interaction that our department has with a citizen, every interaction will then be recorded and essentially graded and kind of have all of the points of, this could be done better, they failed to do this, the citizen was left with this, a resolution or not. And then we can go and take that feedback, which is tons of data, tons of reporting, and then go straight to that employee and say, we're going to give you specific coaching to improve you specifically as an individual, not just group coaching. Everyone needs to do better in sales. Everyone needs to, smile when they answer the phone. People deserve better professional development than that. And in turn, our citizens deserve better customer service, which I do believe these sort of, tech solutions that we're trying to grow and implement are going to provide.
So here we have our CAO wanting to bring 311 to fiber. Here we have the head of fiber saying, we want 311 to come through us. I can see it's going to be a better organization for the citizens of the city and this parish, and it's going to be a lot more efficient operation, and it surely will relieve our CAO to be able to focus on their other duties and put those duties where they need to be focused, which is in fiber, where they have the technology to handle it. I would ask everyone in the city to please, the city council to please do not support this amendment to move it to the CAO's office. Thank you.
Any more comments, discussions? No. Public comments, Ms. Veronica?
No public comment on this one.
Okay, vote on the separate amendment from the city.
Can we get, I'm sorry.
Hold up, wait. Sure.
Can
Yes, ma'am.
Can we get clarification on exactly how we need to vote on? So we have two very similar, this one and then the next one. They're exactly the same but different. Legal, can you provide us a very clear, a yes vote means this and no vote means that, please?
So, yes, ma'am. The separate amendment number 1 that you're currently addressing is strictly an amendment to remove 311 from the utilities budget, from LUS Fiber. That is a city-only vote. If that amendment passes, it is removed from the LUS Fiber budget, but it is not yet placed anywhere else. So it's sort of on an island. You will then, next step, need to decide where to put it, and that will be a joint vote.
Got it. So,
Okay.
so yes, no, so very plainly,
So,
a yes vote means it remains in the CAO, or a
No,
no vote?
no. A yes vote means it is taken out of the utilities budget. Separate amendment number 2 will then deal with the question of going back into the CAOs.
So if you want to keep it in LUS, then vote no.
That's correct.
If we want to leave it in the CAO, we vote yes.
You got to
So let him
Right.
say it. Let him say it.
If you want it,
He's legal.
if you want it out of the LUS fiber budget, you would vote yes to separate amendment number 1.
Thank you, sorry for stopping. Done, thank you.
Okay.
So
Call
only
for
the
the vote.
city will vote on this first separate amendment. A yes vote takes it out of LUS fiber. A yes vote, because currently in the proposed budget, it is in LUS fiber. So we want to remove, this separate amendment removes it. So a yes vote takes it out of fiber.
Okay.
District 2,
No.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1.
Yes.
Separate amendment number 1 is approved.
So does that mean that, I'm sorry. We have to vote on the second one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because now 311 has to be put somewhere. So now with this next vote, you're putting it back into CAO's office.
Separate amendment number 2. Bear moved 311 back under the CAO's office. Andy Nakane objected.
And we want to, we'll vote on this. So we'll just go down the line for the voting.
Repeat what you want again. Yes or no means put it back?
A yes mean it goes back under CAO's
Okay,
office.
right.
District 3?
We voting?
I'm sorry, City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
City District 5?
Yes.
Wait, hold up. She just asked me something, and we do need it. We didn't have a motion on the floor.
Okay, I
for
need a
From
motion.
each one,
I need a
so,
motion and a second from the city.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Hebert, second by Mr. Lazar.
and we need the parish.
Councilman A.B. Rubin and a second by Councilman Table.
Okay, hold on,
Okay.
please, hold on 1 second, please.
City District 3?
Hold on, please, Stephanie. Cindy?
Give it to him.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a question for legal, and I'm literally just curious, okay? Because it's a new charter we're going through. So you voted, the city voted yes, so it removed it. So it's kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Escott, but it's kind of like in no home right now, right? Just out of curiosity, if the parish were to, I'll respect whatever vote y'all do, but if the parish were to vote no and the city were to vote yes, what would happen? But then what would happen? Where would the home be?
Purgatory.
So Lori says purgatory for us Catholics. I just thought it was a fair question, you know, as we navigate through this new charter. So with that, I thought that you needed to have that information. Just vote as you see fit. Thank you. Well, I'm not even going to ask.
Okay, do we have to vote again?
Yes, but we need public comment.
Yes,
There's no public comment. Just got to
Any
ask for
public
it.
comments?
Yeah, no public comment.
Okay, call for the vote, please.
City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
City District 5?
Yes.
City District 1?
Yes.
City District 2?
No.
Parish District 2?
Yes.
Parish District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 5?
Yes.
Parish District 1?
Yes.
The motion to adopt from the City Council is approved. The motion to adopt from the Parish Council is approved. Separate amendment number 3, Lazard. Include back in the budget the position of the nurse and the nurse's operations. Carlson objected.
Can I need a motion and a second, please, from the city? Moved by Mr. Lazar, second by Ms. Cook. That's just the city? Parish. Parish.
Need a motion and a second from the parish. Motion by Councilman Carlson. Second by Councilman Table.
Okay, I need a vote on the separate amendment from the Well, let's carry, okay, let's go on. Go on to the next separate amendment. No, okay, I need a vote.
You need a public
We
comment.
need public comment, but there's no public comment.
Yeah, that's what you told me earlier, no public comment.
Now is the call for the vote, and it'll be both councils.
So both
Sit.
council vote on this.
City District 4,
No.
City District 5,
Yes.
City District 1,
Yes.
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
Parish District 3,
No.
Parish District 5,
Yes.
Parish District 1,
No.
Parish District 2.
No.
The motion to adopt from the city council is approved. The motion to adopt from the parish council fails.
Legal will say what that vote means. What the city council voted for, the parish council voted against it, and now legal will explain.
So because both, it was a required joint vote to pass the proposed amendment, it did not gain the joint vote, so the amendment fails, so the proposed budget stays as proposed.
Ms. Hebert.
First, so I wanted to say, I actually spoke to a couple of people yesterday about this, and Councilman Lazar, I certainly see where you're coming from, and I support this because I hear the value of it. But I want to make a recommendation, not just for Councilman Lazar, for others who added last-minute newly proposed. This makes things complicated when it comes to the vote. I hesitated voting yes, only because we needed more time to look at this. I feel like if council members would have had more time to get with, whether it's Lori, Sidra, Josh, to look at the equipment. Luckily, I'm in this industry that knows what the equipment that we're talking about looks like, but I see the value of both things. So I just want to say, moving forward on the next budget year, let's eliminate any of these last-minute, newly proposed budgets that pop up, because none of us have time to go look into the issue, and we're just sort of voting without the proper information. So I just wanted to add that, and I encourage us all. I don't think this is a bad idea. I like the idea, and I'm happy to work with you and see if find a solution to this, because I see the value in it. So let me know.
Mr. Nakane.
Where's the funding if that position was to be back? Where's that coming from? Is it city money? Is it city money? Oh, I was gonna try to make it easy for you. If it was 100% city money, then I'd have honored the wishes to move forward. But because it's different, and you're right, this was kind of brought to me last minute, and I didn't have the information, so it is what it is. So when you say it goes back to the proposed budget, it means it goes back in?
No, the proposed budget took it out, and the vote
Remains out.
today leaves it out.
We can always bring it back another time, Mr. Lazar, if you want to share some information, but, okay, that's all I have.
Okay, let's go on to the next separate amendment.
There are no other separate
No,
amendments.
separate amendment, okay. All right, there we go. Let's vote to adopt ordinance as amended. Public comments?
We do have public comment. Do you still want to speak, Tara Laxey, on the budget? Do you still want to, okay, Devon? So there are no other speakers. And included in the ordinance to vote, we include in the general amendments. On the ordinance as amended includes all the general amendments, all the separate amendments that were approved, as well as the ordinance that you received, a red line ordinance. So we need to include that with the amendment.
Okay. Do you mind repeating it again? Some of them were discussing, they had their own private conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are now about to vote on the ordinance as amended, which includes all the general amendments, the separate amendments that were approved, and it was only 1 and 2 that were approved. And we are also including the ordinance as amended. You received a red line copy from Finance of the ordinance as amended. It includes that as well. So that's what you're voting on when you vote on the ordinance as amended. We're ready for the vote.
Okay, call for the vote to adopt the ordinance as amended, including all general and separate amendments from the city council.
City Council, City District 5? City District 5?
Yeah.
City District 1?
Yes.
City District 2?
Yes.
City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
The motion to adopt from the the motion to adopt as amended from the city council is approved. Parish Council, Parish District 5?
Yes.
Parish District 1?
Yes.
Parish District 2?
Yes.
Parish District 3?
Yes.
The motion to adopt as amended from the parish council is approved.
This concludes the budget.
Yeah, but you got to hit it first.
I adjourn the parish council meeting.
And if the city council could just state, the parish council, we have a LPPA meeting. The city council, we have it to where you can just stay where you're at, and we'll roll right into the LPPA meeting.
I adjourn the joint meeting with the city council meeting. Okay, let's move on.